Which shotguns are good? Are there any that you should avoid? Are there even any that are worth using at all in this game? Well, you're about to find out about all these shotguns' unique stats and how they stack up against each other because you clicked on a Modern Warfare 2 Worst to Best, a series where I rank all weapons within a class after I unlock Platinum Camo and have a considerable amount of experience with each. Quick disclaimer, this video includes the 4 launch shotguns. I compare DLC weapons in seasonal update videos, meaning the KV broadside will be covered in the Season 2 Reloaded update in about a week or two. First up, locking down the number 4 spot as the worst shotgun in Modern Warfare 2 is the Lockwood 300. This double barrel shotgun specializes in long range engagements, and it's the most consistent when it comes to getting one-shot kills. But to balance that, they made this a slower weapon. Typically, you'll want to kit this out for max range, which will slow down the weapon significantly. The playstyle with the Lockwood is also slow due to the fact that you are constantly reloading the weapon because it's a double barrel shotgun, you only have 2 shots, and there's a lot of bobbing and weaving in between cover while you spend time doing those reloads. That's why when you use this weapon, you want to make sure you're getting the most out of each shot, making sure you're aiming down sights, things like that. Hipfire is okay, but you definitely want to aim down sights because the Lockwood does have the best ADS pellet spread in class, so you want to maximize your odds of landing all your pellets for those one-shot kills. The Lockwood's a cool weapon, it's fun to use, but it's just not very versatile for the reasons I shared. If it had a faster reload speed, or maybe they amped up the range or damage a little bit, I'd be advocating for this, but the Lockwood we have right now is just okay. It's viable, you can get some impressive one-shots with it, but it's not exceptionally great at being a primary weapon, which is the role shotguns have in Modern Warfare 2. Next up at the number 3 spot, we have the Bryson 890. This is the magazine-fed version of the Bryson 800 shotgun, and one thing the 890 has going for it is that it is noticeably faster than every other shotgun available. It has the fastest movement speeds across the board, and you can amplify the ADS handling movement, all those with attachments. The magazine also makes for a faster reload than the other shotguns, and you have the most ammo to work with 8 in the mag, so there's really no frustrations when it comes to reloading or managing your ammo like you do with the other 3 shotguns. But all of that means nothing if the Bryson 890's damage sucks. Overall, the max damage range where pellets will disappear into nothing is 24 meters, which is the shortest range in class. I mentioned that because it's something you should be aware of, but it's not necessarily bad. Its one-shot kill range, which is far more important, isn't the worst between all these shotguns. It's actually on par with a lot of its competition. So in reality, the Bryson 890 may be a bit less consistent in one-shot kills, but it does get one-shot kills in what you'd expect for shotgun range. It has more than enough firepower to do well, and its speed gives it an advantage over some of the other shotguns. The 890 also boasts the best hipfire accuracy in class. I can confidently say that the hipfire one-shot kill consistency on the 890 is absolutely amazing, but I just don't feel like it's anything special necessarily. I do think it's more versatile than the Lockwood at this point in time, but let's move on to the next shotgun because my placement for the 890 may make a bit more sense once we bring that into the picture. So at the number 2 spot, the runner-up for best shotgun is the other Bryson, the Bryson 800. This is also a pump-action shotgun. It's the base version of the Bryson series, but it's tube-fed rather than being magazine-fed, so you're going to be reloading your shotgun shells shell by shell. All of the Bryson 800's non-damage stats are average, which is a good thing. There's no strong downsides for, aim down sights or sprint to fire or anything like that. As for damage, the Bryson's 800 damage is on par with the Lockwood 300. The max range for its one-shot kill fall-off is only 1 meter shorter than the Lockwood. This thing packs some punch. The Bryson 800 may not be as consistent at getting one-shot kills as the Lockwood is, especially the further out your target is, but it's pretty darn close. On top of its decent damage, you have more ammo to work with compared to the Lockwood, faster handling, and a much faster reload that can be made even faster with a guard attachment to make this weapon even more versatile. The The Bryson 800 is pretty well-rounded. I think it's the most well-rounded shotgun between the four. When I first did my side-by-side comparisons, I flipped between preferring the 800 and the 890 several times while working on this video, but over time, the 800 has proved itself to be much more consistent in getting one-shot kills and less hit markers. That's why it's at the second best spot. That brings us to the number 1 shotgun, but before I reveal it, a quick friendly reminder to please do not forget to like the video and consider subscribing to the channel. We're on the road to 50,000 subscribers, and any support is appreciated. Now, the number 1 best shotgun in Modern Warfare 2 for the launch shotguns is going to the Expedite 12. Yes, the Expedite 12. This semi-auto shotgun started off at the bottom of this list because if I remember correctly, it was wildly inconsistent and frustrating to use while leveling up. Perhaps it gets better with attachments, or perhaps I was just using it wrong at first, but whenever I pulled out the Expedite 12 for comparison gameplay for this video, I was straight clapping cheeks with it. The thing about the Expedite 12 is that its one-shot kill range fall off is extremely harsh. You can see in my gameplay with your own eyes that this shotgun is lethal at close quarters combat. You can get one-shot kills no problem, and it being a semi-auto allows you to rack up multiple kills fast, and it just feels absolutely amazing when that happens. But as I mentioned, there's a certain point where its range drops off and it just stops dealing damage, and then it's a questionable 2 to 3 shot kill. This is also the only shotgun without a range increasing barrel, so you're stuck with the default range, and obviously this can be frustrating. No one likes getting hit markers, but when you are at the hit marker range, it is a semi-auto, so you can get those follow-up shots off somewhat fast, and it does become less frustrating once you learn the strengths of the weapon. You learn when to hip fire, you learn when to aim down sights. You learn that this also benefits from faster movement and handling speeds with attachments that are geared towards improving those stats. So over time, you'll learn that you can close the distance on enemies and you'll have more success using it that way. I mean, this is like the one shotgun that just actually supports shotgun style gameplay where you want to get up in people's faces and be a threat to multiple targets, not just one target at a time. The other 3 shotguns can get those close range kills easily, but they lack that momentous stopping power because the gameplay gets slowed down because of its slow fire rate, or they have slow movement or handling, or just the slower reload that just takes you out of the gunfight and you feel like you're playing with a leash on. The Expedite 12 allows you to go balls to the wall. Before I wrap out, I want to give a shout out to the slug rounds. I think it is a noteworthy attachment. Look at the gameplay happening right now. The slug rounds are effective on the Expedite 12 because they greatly increase your range and one-shot kill potential, and with the Expedite being a semi-auto, that means you can fire off several shots quickly. Slug rounds aren't the most practical because you're giving up that close range hip fire security, and at that point, when you're fighting at those longer ranges, you're probably better off using the Lockwood marksman rifle for that style of gameplay. But the Expedite is the only shotgun where I see slugs being effective because of how fast you can fire off those shots. I mean, the Expedite 12, it's pretty well-rounded, it's pretty consistent. It seems like each shotgun is very hit or miss amongst the community, so I have no clue what other people think, but what I do know is that every time I pulled out the Expedite, I was doing noticeably better. That's why it's at the number 1 spot. It's a fun shotgun to use at this point in time. You know, ignoring DLC weapons that get added to the game. But perhaps you disagree with me, or maybe you disagree with my entire list. Comment what you think is the best shotgun and let your voice be heard. And as always, you're welcome to leave your own worst to best list or any of your thoughts you have on my list as well. Please don't forget to click like on this video, consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one.